minutes. T-minus 9 minutes. T-minus 8 minutes. T-minus 7 minutes. T-minus 6 minutes. T-minus 5 minutes. minus 3 minutes. Minus 2 minutes. Minus 1 minute. Stand by.
How about that?
Well, hello, Canada, and 33 U.S. states, and welcome to the RP Show, everybody. Yeah, I'm here. We're having a day. We're having a day. But we are live on the Game Plus Television Network. And in hour two, the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Hi, I'm here. Last minute switcheroo, but you got me live. Scruffy's going to be joining us here in a second, and thank God he is. Scruffy, you might have to carry me a little bit here as I look at you as I try and find another way to get on the air here today. What's going on, Scruff Dog?
Are you having some technical problems?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's something to do with my computer, their computer. Yeah, but you know what? Welcome to Casa Pedersen, by the way.
Yeah, I love technology. I tried to talk to someone yesterday through a Microsoft Teams meeting. I could see them. They couldn't see me because my camera wouldn't come on. It's a good job I knew who they were. So, and vice versa.
Well, we're figuring this out as we go, and I'm very excited
Don't
for
trip.
two reasons. No, I won't. Number one, I should put some pants on if I'm going to be up roaming around.
Are you looking like
I'm joking.
Bissonnette the other day?
Say that again.
Are you looking like Paul Bissonnette the other day watching the hockey game?
You'll never see that, Mitch, from me. You will
God,
never see that from me. No. Once was enough. Okay, we'll get this figured out, but it is what it is. Listen, obviously we're going to have fun. We always have fun. Rich in Edmonton says, you got this, RP. Thank you, Rich. Thank you for showing up. Oh, the camera just slipped. I'll get this as we go. Okay, Mitch, here's the thing. Let me jump into the first point of the Quick Six show topics, and I still have my sound effects. I want to know what you think, Mitch, and the viewers of two things. Number one, Canada's Olympic athletes were welcomed home Monday night at airports in Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Calgary, and Vancouver after the Milan Cortina Games, where the team finished with 21 medals, including 5 gold. I haven't seen any coverage of that, Mitch. I assume any of it looked a little different than Team USA's hockey team, partying lustily here in South Florida, riding double-decker buses through South Beach before celebrating with fans at a popular Miami nightclub called 11. How does this whole thing look to you? How is it sitting with your people, Mitch, the way USA is conducting themselves, Team USA?
We're having a laugh over it. Like, celebrate with class. And as I said, we're having a joke over it. It was funny. Somebody said today, if Japan wins the World Baseball Classic, will the world go after the U.S.? Japan's taken your game. And see the outrage that'll happen from baseball fans, and there are probably more baseball fans in the United States than there are hockey fans. But you know what? It was 46 years since they've won a gold medal? Go hard, boys. Celebrate. We've been here before, so we know how to celebrate and have a good time. But have fun.
Well, look,
and at least I will say this. At least, you know, that the Americans didn't have anything to do with those annoying stuffies, at least not that I saw, which I'm guessing are dog toys now for most of Team Canada that was there.
Okay, well, that's what they handed out to at the end of the game. That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Getting somewhat serious here, and we got about 3 to 4 minutes left in this segment, and then we'll maybe get things straightened around a little more in the break. But there's a lot of things coming off this, Mitch, and I would love to move on, but the NHL doesn't resume until tomorrow night. We're not going to sit here and talk about the NBA. That's not this show. So there's a couple more things here. The U.S. women's hockey gold medal winning team has declined an invitation from President Donald Trump to attend today's State of the Union address, saying in a statement that it was sincerely grateful but unable to attend due to timing. Do you think that's true? Or do you think the women are upset with what Donald Trump said to the men's team after the game, saying, I guess we have to invite the women too?
I think it's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B.
They're not going to go out of their way to go because the timing wasn't great. Anyways, right. Yes. So a convenient excuse. Well, here's my thing. I don't want to turn this into a political war, and it's not really a political war, but there's a lot of media saying the men should have come out and stood up for the women's team, and none of them have, and there's all of that, right? And this Team USA, the men's hockey team, we're raiding your ship, taking your women, stealing your booze, drinking your whiskey. That's what they are. That's what they are. Yep. And they make no apologies for that. And some people like it. A lot of people don't. What I can guarantee you is they don't care.
Oh, I agree with you. I completely agree with you. Some of them on the surface may show that they care, but at the end of the day, I don't think they do. And that's their prerogative.
Well, is it bothering you?
But it's funny though, yeah. How within the 24 hours after the U.S. winning the gold medal, everybody is rah, rah, USA hockey. And the next 24 hours, the political divisiveness comes up again. And it's just sort of like the social media thing. You know, like you just can't, nobody can be happy. And had this happened with the women's team, you'd have a bunch of people going, you can't women's hockey with men's hockey and stuff like that. You're not going to win. You're just not going to win, no matter what you do.
Well, right. Ricky Nelson, I'll say it again. Garden party. He said it best. Can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. John Ohm writes in and says, Rod, politics and sports, that will never change, it seems. And that's the thing. It's more so in America, because I don't ever know any team that's been welcomed to Parliament Hill after winning a Stanley Cup or a Grey Cup, or that's just not a thing in Canada. I wish Trump had not called the USA, man. And to be honest, I watched that video going, is this even real? I don't even know what to believe anymore. right? Fake
Well, you saw
news and
Cash
AI.
Patel in there chugging beers for whatever
What'd you
reason.
what'd you think of that?
That's just dumb. Like, if you're going to be a jock sniffer, Cash, just admit it.
Oh, could be the meme of the day. I don't think we'll make that, but everybody knows now. The head of the FBI, Kash Patel, was slamming beers with Team USA. Who is it here? Bill in Regina writes, and he says, "To the victor goes the spoils." That's kind of what I've been saying all along. What we're seeing is the bigger life lesson. You win, you can do whatever the hell you want. You can party with whoever the hell you want. And, I've seen people saying there's national security crisis in this country. What are you doing celebrating with Team USA? He's not handling all of that on his own. He's got people to do that. He's allowed to have a life. But anyways, we'll be right back. We got a lot to get into right back after this on the RP Show.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon
and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Hold on tight, Moose Jaw. Professional bull riding is back. PBR Canada charges into the Temple Garden Center April 25th. See the toughest riders take on the rankest bulls in a night of non-stop, edgier seat action. Whether you're a diehard fan or brand new to PBR, this is one show you don't want to miss. Tickets are on sale now at sastix.ca or at the box office. But don't wait, they'll sell fast. Professional Bull Riding Canada in Moose Jaw.
Proudly presented by Papikassis Developments Limited.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
21-time nominated Grammy Award winner Dwight Yoakam. Live in concert. June 24th, 7 p.m., Temple Garden Center. Dwight Yoakam. On sale now at sasktix.ca. Dwight Yoakam Live.
All right, welcome back, everybody. RP Show continues, and yeah, we're streaming. We've got people writing into the show on the Western Dodge text line 902-518-3033, freaking out that we're not on Game Plus TV today. All I can tell you is that is out of my control. This is what I do, and that's about it. So thanks for those that have found us here on YouTube. Mitch, are you ready now to move on from Canada, USA, Olympic hockey, and all the rest? Because I am.
I was that way at this time yesterday.
Okay, well then, thank you. Let's move on. I got a few things here. 2A, the NFL Combine is this week in Indianapolis, where most of the buzz is about veteran players in the league rather than incoming rookies. Maybe it's the quarterback chaos or the landslide of head coaching changes, but the usual sideshow of the scouting combine has been pushed to the back burner. Mitch, add to the fact that projected number 1 overall pick Fernando Mendoza won't throw in Indy this weekend, and it has a lot of people wondering, why are we doing this at all? Has the combine become passé, Scruffy?
Yes and no. I think, that game situations you don't see it at the combine. Let's have read and recognition. Let's have, in actual game situations. Yeah, a guy can run a 4.5 40, but how often is he needed to run a 4.5 40? If you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
This is a chance for scouts, and it's different in the CFL than the NFL, I think, but it's a chance for scouts to get a hold of these guys and ask them the bizarre questions that they do as to why they'd be a fit. But when a guy is going to the combine and he's not showing you his arm strength, or he's not showing you his read and recognition, or he's not showing you his hands or whatever, then yeah, why are we doing this? Is it just a chance for everybody to get together and shoot the you-know-what? Maybe have a little trade talk here and there? Yeah, it is, but don't you call that the winter meetings?
Well, and that's the point. I'm glad to hear you say that, because the number one highlight or headline that I see coming out of the NFL today is the Raiders general manager John Spytek saying that Max Crosby isn't going anywhere, which all this tail chasing and all the crap we've gone through with the star D lineman for the Raiders has all been for naught, which a lot of things in the media are now. On one hand, I feel like putting my phone away for most of the day. On the other, I'm afraid I'm going to miss something, because that's how we all think. But, should they have non-combine related, like a moratorium, like Grey Cup week and Super Bowl week, where you're not allowed to say anything except for the big game? You couldn't do that. I guess no. I was never a big combine guy anyways, but I was listening to Florio yesterday, and he was saying how boring the combine is. I'm like, well, you're an NFL guy. If you think it's boring, I'm definitely not watching. And then today he's broadcasting from there. I'm like, oh, way to sell the combine, Mike. But on the flip side,
yeah, but it's one of those events, though, Rod. It's like the NHL winter meetings. You don't really get a lot out of it, but you almost have to be there because it's your chance to talk to these people that you don't normally get a chance to talk to, because they're all there. And it's funny that you talk about John Spytek. He's being interviewed right now by Rich Eisen. And, Rich Eisen is there in Indianapolis, and this is a chance for Rich, and I'm guessing McAfee's around there because it's in Indianapolis, but it's a chance to have all the heavyweights talk to the various coaches, the various general managers. Is Fernando Mendoza there? Because if he is, that people will want to get 5-10 minutes of his time. So is it a big deal, the actual event? No. Is the event big because of the people around it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a marketing opportunity. And that's the way it was built. From the audience, Carlos in Indiana writes in, he says, I'll be paying attention to the combine, but not intensely. And I never was. Jason in Red Deer writes in, he says, NFL Combine, yeah, great. You can jump 8 feet high. Let's see you do it trying to catch a football with the DB ready to kill you. Eric in Vancouver writes in and he says Mendoza's stock can only go down by a 10, and that's why he's not there. I mean, let's be honest. In hour 2, when we go to air in Nevada, I'll open it up to the Nevada viewers and see how they feel, because the Silver State Sports Entertainment Network tweeted from their account this morning, should we be concerned Mendoza's not throwing? Because they know he's going to be a Raider. It's not a question. He's going number 1 to Las Vegas, right? And they're like, should we be worried about this guy? Well, Connor Bedard, in his draft year, could have been traded, Mitch. He vetoed it. He could have gone to the Memorial Cup. Wasn't Kamloops hosting? Whoever the hell was whatever. Bedard didn't want to go. Right? And he was like, why would I keep playing? I'm number 1 overall anyways, which is exactly what Mendoza is saying. And it was not a character issue with Bedard. It's not a character issue with Mendoza. But the question is, like, because Shedeur didn't throw last year.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He didn't.
What it was, though, Rod, it's when you look at Connor Bedard and you look at Mendoza as well here, the media want a piece of this guy. They want him to be in the spotlight. Connor Bedard was content, knowing what his future was, to say, you know what? I'm done in round 1 of the Western Hockey League playoffs, and they got to Game 7 against the Blades that year. Who knows what would have happened had they beat Saskatoon. But I don't need to showcase myself at the Memorial Cup because scouts know what I can do. But, it's the media that need to see me. It's Sportsnet that needs maybe, because I think at that time Sportsnet was doing the Memorial Cup. I could be wrong. So maybe it was TSN. But, I don't care if TSN gets an extra 500 people because we're playing the Quebec League champs tonight. I'm doing what I'm doing. And...
Whoa. Hey, stop the presses. I saw it again today, and I'm going to ask you, not expecting that you would have the answer. I just want your opinion. How big of a deal was it that Bedard turned down Canada's invitation to the Worlds last year, coming back again for the Olympics this year? I mean, we're never going to know. We're never going to know.
No, you're not. It's a question that would be better asked to Doug Armstrong.
He wouldn't answer
when we had these chats about Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini and who should go to the Olympic team, I think Connor Bedard made a big mistake by saying thanks but no thanks to going to the Worlds. He had his reasons for it. That's fine. Celebrini went. He played with Crosby. He got a chance to hang out with Crosby. You know that Sid is very influential. And when Doug Armstrong made some calls about Macklin Celebrini, he probably went to Sid and said, so what's this kid all about? And Sid gave him a glowing recommendation. Sid, what about Bedard? Can't answer that question for you. And now,
because he doesn't know.
After what Macklin Celebrini did in Milan, he's ahead of Connor Bedard. And people around here might not like that because of Bedard's connection to Regina and Saskatchewan. But Macklin Celebrini is miles ahead of Connor Bedard right now. And it will be that way until Bedard takes his game to another level. He's had a great season, Rod, but he's got to take it now to another level.
You're saying miles ahead as a player or miles ahead in the Hockey Canada pecking order? Because there's a difference.
Both.
Okay, fair. That's, again, why I asked you your opinion on it. Eric in Vancouver says Cam Ward didn't participate last year either in the Combine, so that's what we're talking about. John Ohm says, I'm seeing Bedard play my Winnipeg Jets. Can't wait to see the pride of the Regina Pats. At the end of the day, well, I guess we're not going to forget that Connor Bedard turned down the Canadian invitation because it's going to keep coming up every year at the Olympics. And I would think by next year or next Olympics, he'll be in them. But in the case of him or Fernando Mendoza.
If he's not, then that, yeah,
right.
If Connor Bedard isn't in the Olympics in 4 years' time in Paris or the French Alps, wherever it is, then either Connor Bedard has really alienated himself with Hockey Canada, or Connor Bedard's game has fallen off a cliff. And I don't anticipate that.
Well, just a couple of things on that. But number one, everybody has an opinion here in America on Mendoza not throwing at the combine because you know what? They're tired of talking about Matthew Tkachuk and Captain America and Team USA. Let's talk football.
Well, it's the NFL,
Why is
Rod. It's football.
Right. It's the machine, which we can relate this or try to the CFL, but it's not relatable. But here's my thing on this, and I should probably talk to an agent. Mendoza, I know for a fact Bedard was advised why he didn't go to the Memorial Cup. The World Championships last year, I'm not as confident in. But he was advised by agents, family, whatever. You're done playing. You're going number one overall. Go rest. But in the case of the World Championships last year, he said, I think publicly, he wanted to train. I would think now he's an adult. Mind you, so's Mendoza. That would have been Connor's decision. In the case of Mendoza, I'll guarantee you, Mitch, he was advised not to throw. Not even his decision.
Oh, I think that's a fair statement to make. At the end of the day, if Fernando Mendoza was really wanting to throw at the combine, he would let it be known that he wants to throw at the combine and tell his representation that he wants to throw. But I highly believe you're right, Rod, because it could have happened to Cam Ward last year, and it could have happened to Mendoza this year. But all you need to do is throw it out, and all of a sudden you're rubbing your elbow because something's gone wrong. And
that too.
We know the money between being picked number one and being picked later first round. And if Fernando Mendoza has an elbow problem or a shoulder problem, let the Raiders find that out at the first OTA.
So, well, what's funny about that is we could all just say he's being advised, let's move on. His stock could only fall. Let's talk about something else. But that's like the lady that wrote into our Facebook and said, oh, Canada lost to the USA. The game's over. Let's move on. That don't fly. Not in the public, not in the media.
Nope.
No, they're going to talk about it forever. Jason in Red Deer writes in and says, the NFL, never forget league. We talk about it all year long. I prefer the not for long, as Jerry Glanville said. And when we come back after the break, a couple things I want to, the not for long league, the NFL. Jerry Glanville is coaching in the Continental Football League, Mitch. Please hold your applause. And the United Football League has announced a rash of rule changes today. Did you happen to see those for this season?
Yeah,
Did you
I've
see them?
seen some of them. Yep.
Oh, we got to talk about this when we come back after the break. We don't have enough time to get into them, but just one, folks. Oh, this is going to get the football people all horny. Do you see the 4-point field goal thing?
I don't. Well, yes, I did. Sorry, I thought you were going to bring up the 3-point point after try, which that's too gimmicky for me. But the 60-point field or the 60-plus field goal, that's something that's been discussed in the NFL, and the UFL is jumping the shark on this one.
Right. So they just this morning, the UFL, and I'm laughing because a lot of our viewers are UFL fans. They are. And I wasn't going to watch it this spring. Yeah. Oddly, I'm like, I got Stanley Cup playoffs. We got Blue Jays. I'm not going to watch the UFL. I'm relenting. I'm actually going to get into it. And
You
we're going
can
to do a
watch
UFL
one game,
pick'em.
Rod. I'm not an NBA
What do you
guy,
mean?
but I watched San Antonio and Detroit last night because they're two of the best teams in the NBA.
Right. Okay, we'll be right back. This is awesome. We'll be right back. With more with Scruffy and me right after this on the RP Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Hold on tight, Moose Jaw. Professional bull riding is back. PBR Canada charges into the Temple Garden Center April 25th. See the toughest riders take on the rankest bulls in a night of non-stop edge-of-your-seat action. Whether you're a diehard fan or brand new to PBR, this is one show you don't want to miss. Tickets are on sale now at sastix.ca or at the box office. But don't wait, they'll sell fast. Professional Bull Riding Canada in Moose Jaw.
Proudly presented by Pedersen Developments Limited.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina. This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We do it every day. The Junior Hockey Report brought to you by our friends at the Mad Greek Eatery. The Moose Jaw Warriors battled but fell in a narrow 4 loss on Saturday night at the Rempel Temple to the Prince George Cougars. Warriors hit the road this week for games Tuesday in Calgary. That's tonight, and Wednesday in Lethbridge. Great chance for you with the Warriors on the road to check out the Mad Greek Eatery in Moose Jaw. From classic to loaded, pizza night starts at the Mad Greek Eatery. Order online, pick up, or dine in at the madgreekeatery.com. Hi, Scruffy, you're on.
Yeah, I see
from
that.
the text line.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at a story from ESPN. Jack and Quinn Hughes apparently said this morning, people are so negative.
What are they referring to?
The backlash over the women's comments. Like, they were on one of the morning shows today. I think it was Good Morning America. People are so negative, they said. Really?
Oh, my God.
Really?
Oh, don't even get
Here's
me started.
another one, Jack and Quinn. If you add 1 and 1, you get 2. The sky is blue, water is wet, and people are negative. Then welcome to today's society.
Well, we try to keep that out of this show as much as possible and have fun, which, speaking of, Vintage Sasko writes in on the Western Dodge text line, formerly known as Fake Gainer Mitchell. He writes, he says, hey, Padre Pedersen and Minister Mitch. Combines are all right, but we have to get through Disker and air seeding first. Hoping for a kick-ass flax crop. Signed, Sasko. Oh, yes. I never cared for either kind of combining. The one in the field or the one on the field. Mitch, I
As
didn't.
a milestone
And you know
boy,
what?
you never got on the tractor?
No, well, I got on it. I didn't like it. And actually was
Okay.
speaking at an event in Swift Current. Me and Ken Miller were the keynote speakers, and my dad, we brought my dad along just for fun. And I was saying in my speech how much I disliked farming. On the way home, Dad was like, "You didn't like farming?" I'm like, "Dad, I was telling you every single day. Every day. I hate this. This is work. This ain't work, Mitch, what you and I do." Sorry to burst the
No.
bubble
By
on
the
everybody,
way,
but
I would think
this
that
ain't
your
work.
dad and Ken Miller would have gotten along like brothers.
Forget about me. I was just the chauffeur while those two
Right?
talked. Oh my God, they were
Right?
big buddies. Well, okay, on those UFL rules. So, did you say you're going to watch or you're not going to watch the UFL this year?
I'm going to maybe watch a game, but like, am I going to be as heavily invested in it as I am the CFL, the NFL, the NCAA? No. By the way, we're 100 days from the kickoff to the CFL season. The league put that out today.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well,
I'm just, it doesn't interest me. And I don't know if it's just the marketing or what it is, but it just doesn't. I've tried to watch games, but it just doesn't resonate with me.
Well,
Spring
maybe these
football
rule changes
doesn't
will.
resonate with me.
Well, and I'm looking for this comment from somebody said, I think it was Eric in Vancouver. He was like, "Good God, Jerry Glanville's still coaching?" These guys, well, like Ken Miller, you brought up Ken Miller, his wife, Maureen, she always said Kenny's going to die on the sidelines. He wants to die on the sidelines.
Yep.
Tressman's like that. Well, my dad worked in the NHL till he was 76. They had to tell him, "Jim, go home." Right? That's just the way those guys were built. Glanville's the same.
Yep.
And so when you say, here's the thing about the UFL, you can't tell me it's not up in your face. It's going to be on Fox, it's going to be on TSN, ESPN, Fox Sports. All the major networks have it. So let's open a real Pandora's box, Scruffy, because why the hell not? Here's the rule changes. A 4-point field goal, any successful kick, 60 yards or more, will count for 4 points. They're going to the 1 foot in bounds rule, which they're crediting the NCAA for, but we all know the CFL was doing it 50 years before college was. Eliminating the tush push. If you're inside the 50, you can't punt. And the PATs. Do you want to explain that?
I don't like that. I don't like the PAT thing. Like the 1 point, the traditional 1 point, the 2 point, yes. But the 3 point after try, sorry, that's too gimmicky for me.
Yeah, but here, Wally Buono was pushing this in the CFL for you. Wally wanted to bring it in.
Oh, I know.
Does that help?
I know.
Yeah, so it's 1 point kicking convert, as we all know. 2 point ball placed at the 2. And for a 3 point convert, ball placed at the 8-yard line. See, what I like about that, and why I think, well, I know, because Wally and I talked about it, why he wanted it, was if it's a 9-point margin with a minute to go, the game's largely over. But in this case, it's not. Right? So they've taken, I feel like, all the best rules from the college and CFL, morphed them together and put them into the UFL.
It sounds to me like they want to eliminate the kicker.
I don't know what to say about that. You might be right. Hey, the Barflies writes in and says, did El Gersma sign in the UFL? We're talking about Taylor El Gersma, the stud out of Wilfrid Laurier, drafted. Was he drafted by Green Bay or just had a tryout?
Green Bay. Drafted by Green Bay.
Right, but they cut him. And now he's going to try out in the UFL, I guess. And CFL fans are mad that he has
playing for
turned his
AJ McCarron's
Birmingham
team, the former Alabama quarterback. With
Birmingham.
the gorgeous wife, according to Brent Musburger. Remember that clip?
Oh, yeah. I was watching. I'm an Alabama fan. I was watching the game. I'm like, did
were
he
you watching that game? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was
No, I'm an Alabama.
that Jennifer Sturgeon became a household name when Florida State was playing Miami, when Brent issued the line, if you're a young man watching this game, how would you not want to go to Florida State? I remember that line, but I remember
people
seeing the clip of him talking about A.J. McCarron's girlfriend. But I wasn't watching that game, though.
Some people survive being canceled, others do not. Musburger has dodged it many times. I want to clarify something. Brent in Saskatoon writes in, he says, if I told my dad I didn't like the farm, I probably would have got my ass tanned. Here's the thing. When I left the farm at 17, I was like, Dad, see ya. And my dad was, see ya. He was just as happy. I was ruining livestock, machinery, you name it. It's, get the hell out of here. And we're happy both ways. Brent in Saskatoon also says, Jerry Glanville is 84. Can't believe he's still coaching either. I guess he's a lifer. I guess. My God, the game needs people like that. The guy that legendarily left tickets for Elvis at will call of every
Can you imagine the stories he has?
Like, I got good stories, and I'm a nobody. Imagine Jerry Glanville.
If he showed up at a sports dinner in Saskatchewan, how would you not want to go?
Jerry Glanville?
Yes.
Yeah. Do they do sports dinners anymore?
Some of them. Well, you've done a couple.
Just a couple. We used to do them every weekend. Multiple ones every weekend. The Barflies writes in and says, Greg Zahn survived. Did he? I talk to Zani regularly. I'm not sure that he survived. He's not on national television anymore. He was coaching in Mexico, for the love of God.
Wasn't he on your show last week?
Yeah. I'm sorry. He's not on a national network with a gig anymore. So did he survive? Sure, we all survive, but we usually have to move. That's kind of the deal. That's kind of how it goes. We got like 90 seconds left, Mitch. What else you got for me today?
Nothing really. As said, the NHL, it's the last day, and I think a lot of people are now trying to figure out when it comes to Team Canada and the USA as to whether or not their players are going to be in the lineup when the season resumes. I think the Leafs put out just a few minutes ago that Austin Matthews will play in Tampa tomorrow night. The Edmonton Oilers may not have Connor McDavid for their first game against Anaheim, but he's expected to play against LA on the weekend. And I thought I saw the Colorado Avalanche say that Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar and Devin Taves may not play in Utah in their first game. And I don't know if that's tomorrow night or Thursday. So obviously players and teams are having some communication as to when guys are going to be back. I'm sure John Cooper found out from his guys and Jake Ginsel what their plans are. So, yeah, that's sort of what we're waiting for today.
All right, Scruffy. Well, listen, I got 5 more points I didn't get to. I guess we'll
shocking.
Put them in your column or something. Okay, this has been fun.
There you go.
Thanks. Stay warm.
All right. Talk to you later.
We got sports update and viewer takeover coming back right after this on the RP Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I hope you're having fun. I know I certainly am. Scruffy has adjourned. Somehow or another, we'll try and muddle our way through as we get to hour 2 on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network in Nevada. Bill Lindsay will be joining us in hour 2. My good and longtime friend. Well, not that long. Feels like a long time. When you connect with somebody like that, you connect. Billy Lindsay will be with us. He is the current Florida Panthers radio color commentator, but he's also on NHL Network. You may see him up there. I think Canada shows snippets of the NHL Network, and so that'll be fun. Listen, it's all over the place. It's all out of order. The comments from the viewers are incredible. Matthew writes in, oh, this trumps everything. Pardon the pun. I'm not sure who Matthew is. Matthew, where are you? He says, Rod, I don't know if you touched on it yet, but what's your feel on the Bob front? Any real truth to Bob potentially being moved? Oh my God. For the regular viewers of this show and those that watch the Cats and Bolts podcast, the Florida NHL podcast that I do, when I say, oh my God, I'm chuckling out of this because I broached the subject on this show here as a guinea pig test market to see what the RP show viewers would say about Sergei Bobrovsky being traded. Our viewers lost their minds. How could the Panthers trade Bob? And I'm like, well, he's on an expiring deal. Panthers are 8 points out of a playoff spot. Guaranteed Bill Zito's thought of it. And now, this week, maybe it's because the NHL is reconvening, everybody's talking about it. The pundits, the podcasters, the bloggers, the insiders. So if you ask me what my take is on it, it is this. If Bob is willing to accept a trade, it will happen because it just makes good business sense. But we're not going to know for the 5-6 games. That'll be the test pattern. If the Panthers are hot coming out of the gate, they're not going to move Bob. They're going to try and be in the playoffs. But if they are slow and sluggish, which, let's be honest, could you blame them? Half the team was in the Olympics. They were tired before the break. They'll be even more tired now. If they're out of it and Bob's willing to be moved, he'll be moved. And this is like he's a 38-year-old man with 2 little kids, I think both under the age of 3. Maybe he wants out of the house for a couple of months. That's how they think. It's how they're human beings. Give me a break. Put me up on the top floor of the Aria for a couple of months, and I'll play for the Golden Knights and chase another Stanley Cup. So I think it could very well happen. It'll be entirely up to Bob to answer your question. Okay, I'll go back to the viewer comments in a moment because they're just as delicious. But sports update for the Ultimate Fan Zone in Moose Jaw. There are 11 games in the NBA tonight, including one in Toronto, where the Raptors host the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder. But Thunder will be without Canadian star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's from just down the road, Hamilton. He's been out of the lineup with an abdomen strain. This is from the U.S. This is from the Associated Press Sports Wire. The U.S. men's hockey team, draped in American flags and wearing their Olympic gold medals, partied in Miami last night. Players signed autographs, posed for photos with their championship bling, and celebrated ending a 46-year gold medal drought at the Winter Games. President Donald J. Trump invited the team to attend his State of the Union address tonight. The gold medal-winning women's team declined Trump's invite, citing scheduling conflicts. It's unclear if the men's team will attend. The NHL resumes its regular season tomorrow. Back to that in a second. The Toronto Blue Jays will be looking to even their spring training record to 2-2 today when they face the New York Yankees at TD Ballpark in Dunedin, Florida. The Jays dropped a 4-3 decision on Monday to the Mets, while the Yankees improved to 2-2 with a 6-2 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates. So there was all this conjecture back and forth from the viewers here about will or won't they. BW from Edmonton writes in and he says, isn't Team USA going to the State of the Union with Trump tonight? Just because they were invited doesn't mean that they'll be there. And so, thank God I was not extended an invitation to go to the club called 11 last night. And as crazy as it sounds, that they would invite a 53-year-old man, I was invited to go to the Elbow Room the night they won the second Stanley Cup in the spring. And no. But who was there? Listen. Nobody spent more time in the club than me. Those that know. And you know what we thought of the guys that were 53 years old hanging around? I don't want to be that guy. But my dog Caesar was there. And if you don't know Big C's, you should. Caesar's physically challenged. He's in a wheelchair. He's been a Panther season ticket holder for a long time and has a podcast, Big C's podcast. It's been made famous by Spit and Chicklets. If you go to our Cats and Bolts, because he's been on there multiple times, he's got this running feud with Biz Nasty. Caesar represented himself and me at 11 last night. If you go to the Cats and Bolts Instagram or Caesar's, Big C's, you'll see it. Him and Matthew Tkachuk are on the mic singing Dream On by Aerosmith. Believe C's was hospitalized in June. He went so hard partying with the Panthers. And he didn't learn his lesson. I was worried about Caesar. But nah, clearly he can handle it. He's a good kid. And the other thing is 4 years ago was when I first met C's. Let's just put it this way. Nobody in this town at that time gave C's the time of day. But I did, because he asked, if anybody's going to the Panther game tonight, can you give me a Tkachuk bobblehead? I'll get you one, Caesar. And as luck would have it, there was some extra ones I got it from. That was how we met, and he's never, ever forgot that. And I've been on his show. I've been trying to get him on my show, but he works during the day. And parties with the Panthers at night. He's quite a dude. Big C's. Okay. Where is my... Wow. Oh, I did the sports update. Never mind. 902-518-3033 is the text line. We could go back to the football. Or not. Wayne writes in and says, the main off-season thing that I watch is free agency for the players. He's talking about the National Football League. And that's what we were getting into earlier. The combine, if done properly, Because it's changing. You understand, things change. We would all love life to stay the same. It does not. The top prospects aren't throwing at the combine anymore. Fernando Mendoza's not this year. They're all worried in Vegas, which we'll talk more about next hour. Should they be? Last year, Cam Ward didn't. Shedeur Sanders didn't. It's changing. So how is the NFL going to change to make this interesting, to make people want to watch it? Which, by the way, that's our poll question today for EMJ Marketing. Will you be following the NFL Combine? 84% of you saying no. And you know what? Tremendous market research for me, because good. Then I don't need to follow it if you're not going to be following it. Wayne goes on to say, hey, I laugh almost every day watching the RP show. Rod, you found a job that you love. Way to go. It's your stories that make me laugh. And Wayne goes on to say, I'm actually looking forward to the NHL season resuming to see how the playoffs unfold. Well, like I say, I wanted to get into that with Mitch, but we'll do it more tomorrow when there are 8 games. We kind of go back and forth on being serious, having fun. Bill Lindsay's going to be with us next hour to talk all things NHL. And the interesting thing about Billy, I probably should save this for next hour, but hang on. Just grabbing my clock here. I've been a fan of Bill's since long before I met him. Back in the WHL days when he was a Tri-City American, followed him playing for the Florida Panthers. He plays a very tough, in-your-face style that's not a lot of fun to play. Bill Lindsay is a worker, and I think that's why we get along. But he was born in Fernie, BC. I know the family very well. I'll say this because I really don't want to look like fanboy coming back next hour, but I broke out laughing this morning on the treadmill thinking, what a job we've fashioned for ourselves here, that we can sit and talk to the sports greats every day. Just my childhood heroes, and call it a job. From Kelly McCrimmon to Bill Lindsay to, Dennis Bernstein, who I met yesterday, the Matthew Barnabys. Oh my God. It's so great. And this should probably carry over until next hour. I was talking about, I think why my dad was so shocked that I didn't like farming was he was able to fashion a Hall of Fame hockey career in the National Hockey League, but also farm at the same time, and it worked very well for him. I just didn't want to do the farming. Wasn't good at it. It was work. This ain't work. Just like Dad never thought scouting was work, but it was. John Ohm. Oh, so we're talking about Jerry Glanville at 84, coaching in the Continental Football League this year with San Antonio, by the way. John Ohm says, get Jerry Glanville on the show. Thank you so much. I'll tell you what, Continental Football League would probably make that happen. Nothing against the other leagues, but the only reason that I know that the Continental Football League San Antonio team, Toros, hired Jerry Glanville was the league emailed me. Mike Kelly's the commissioner, so it's not hard to figure out that they would find me. And then the other thing is the United Football League rule changes today, which, where's the text from Sean in Vancouver? I wrote him back. Sean in Vancouver. Rule changes in my beloved UFL. I'll never watch another down. They've ruined it. All the tradition and history wiped out. LOL. From Sean in Vancouver. They're introducing a 4-point field goal. A rash of UFL rule changes announced this morning. And they sent me the email. So they are getting out in front of it, promoting their leagues. But there ain't nobody works harder than the NFL, I'll tell you, in staying relevant and front and center. Anyways, we'll be back with hour 2 right after this brief pause here on the RP Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, A big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
Hello, everybody. It is the RP Show coming your way on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Streaming on YouTube, podcast form, and also the radio WQVZ. Shout out and apologies going to those looking for us on the Game Plus television network, not airing there today. I've been assured that will change by tomorrow. Bob in Medicine Hat, we are alive. That's the great thing about our viewers. They care. I think it's because they know I care about you. But Bob in Medicine Hat writes, and he says, "Good day, Rod. I've tuned inside your show Monday and today, but nothing on TV. Hope everything is okay." Bob from Medicine Hat. Have a great day. We're fine, Bob. We're rocking and rolling, and everybody's found us here. Here we go. I will tell you this before I get to the quick six show topics. Very excited to welcome Stanley Cup champion Bill Lindsay coming up in the guest spot today. He didn't win it as a player, but he won it as a broadcaster and as a 30-year Panther guy. That's one thing I love about all the staff here in South Florida with the Panthers. They all took heart, the alum, the staff, in winning back-to-back Stanley Cup championships. Bill Lindsay's now the radio color guy, longtime TV analyst, and now from the NHL Network. So our U.S. viewers that are used to seeing Billy on the NHL Network will be excited to see him coming up in 15 minutes' time. Okay. Here's the quick six show topics of importance to me, the host. This probably isn't what you're going to see on SportsCenter, but it's the RP show, not SportsCenter. Number one, Team USA's hockey team partied lustily in South Florida Monday night, riding double-decker buses through South Beach before celebrating with fans at a popular Miami nightclub called 11. before departing to rejoin their NHL teams for the resumption of the 2025-26 NHL season on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the U.S. women's hockey gold medal winning team declined an invitation from President Donald J. Trump to attend tonight's State of the Union address, saying in a statement it was sincerely grateful, but unable to attend due to timing. Trump also invited the U.S. men's gold medal winning team. Scheduling is tight as we mentioned, the NHL season resumes Wednesday. The Professional Women's Hockey League returns to action on Thursday. So 1 hour ago, our Monday and Tuesday co-host Scruffy was with us, and we kicked this around a little bit. And time, they say, heals all wounds. Actually, people heal all wounds, not just time. But Monday's show was a little emotionally charged with viewers from both nations tuning in. The Canadians that were upset over losing the gold medal game to the U.S. viewers tuning in to, let's say it what it is, gloat. When you win, you can do that. But then that was before the partying from Monday night on South Beach, which, again, nobody partied more than me. You go have fun, boys. You earned it. But it's interesting because apparently Jack Hughes, who Mitch just sent me the link to the story, was on some national television program this morning in the U.S., Good Morning America or something like that. He was asked about the backlash to, let me back it up. The U.S. women's hockey team said because of timing issues, they couldn't go to the State of the Union, but many people feel they were dissed by the president when he called the men's team after the gold medal game and said, I guess we got to invite the women's team too. So when I saw that video, listen, if Perry Shockey is watching right now, the hockey guy of all hockey guys, he said to me once, believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. I wasn't believing that video of Trump calling the men's hockey team. I thought there was a fake video. I saw a video of him playing hockey the other day. That was fake. So I don't know what to believe or not. So Jack Hughes interviewed this morning saying, you didn't, however it went, I'll paraphrase, but it's like, you didn't stand up for the women's team with the diss from the president. And Jack Hughes saying, people are so negative. They are. And what you're asking somebody why they didn't stand up to the president of the United States. Not our job to do that. Did we mention we won gold on Sunday? Let's move on. Taking care of business for a second. 902-518-3033 is the text line for Western Dodge, where the service is legendary and the deals are real. 902-518-3033. Oh, we were talking about trade earlier. Well, today is your day with Bill Lindsay coming in next. Brent from Wellington, Florida. Brent's watching in Florida. He says, the Panthers are healthy. No way they're selling at the deadline. Bobrovsky resigns in the offseason for 2 more years. Well, Bill Lindsay's coming up in the next segment to talk about that. The Florida Panthers great, which until the Panthers won a couple Stanley Cups here recently, Billy was the face of the franchise. He was more than happy. He said it. He'll probably say it here again today, to hand that mantle over to Matthew Tkachuk. Billy held it for a very long time. Glenn is watching in Medicine Hat and says too many Canadians are focused on Donald Trump, ignoring the nonsense. Oh, Glenn in Medicine Hat. It says ignoring the nonsense going on in our own backyard has become too commonplace. It's embarrassing. Well, Glenn, it's a lot easier to point fingers and look over the fence at the neighbor than look in your own mirror. Nobody wants to do that. It's too painful. Come on, you know that. Jason and Red Deer writes in, he says, let's see what Bill Lindsay thinks about Bob potentially being moved and what he thinks the Panthers could get in return. I'll handle the questions. Thank you. I kind of have an idea what I'm going to talk to Billy about. C Lightning writes in and he says, Rod, you were right. Canada needed a goal scorer like Connor Bedard. Well, thank you, C Lightning, for admitting I was right. Most people do not. Ken in Mississauga, Ontario, watching, says, are the players going to sit in the gallery for the entire address? How the hell would I know? let's move on. Okay, I don't know. We're brought to you in part by Pump Jack's Steakhouse and Saloon, Pump Jack's Cathedral, Pump Jack's Weyburn. Come early, stay late at the place where friends meet. Pump Jacks is going to sponsor our UFL Pick'em. That's right, we're going to do it. We might be the only show in North America to do United Football League picks, but what the hell? Point two, the NFL Combine is this week in Indianapolis, where most of the buzz is about veteran players in the league rather than incoming rookies that'll be showing their wares to scouts and teams. Maybe it's the quarterback chaos or the landslide of head coaching changes, but the usual sideshow of the NFL scouting combine has been pushed to the back burner. Add to the fact, projected number one overall pick Fernando Mendoza won't throw in Indy this weekend. It has a lot of people wondering, why do it at all? And it's been interesting to watch how the NFL is going to handle this. I've been watching the shows, as I always do. I like to go for a run in the morning, listen to Mike Florio. I mentioned it last hour. I will again here. Florio was saying yesterday on NBC Sports Radio, and he's an NFL guy, how he's not interested in the combine at all, how it's boring, always has been. I'm like, oh, okay, click. Guess I won't be watching. I never liked it anyway. Florio just gave us permission to turn it off or not watch it all. And then I tune it on today, and he's there. I'm sure the NFL was real happy with him saying that, but last year, the number one overall pick, Cam Ward, didn't throw. Shadir Sanders didn't throw. Now Fernando Mendoza didn't throw. And the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network, the television channel out of Nevada, of which we're airing right now, tweeted from their account this morning saying, is it a red flag that Mendoza isn't throwing at the combine? And actually, to be honest, I might put this to Bill Lindsay when he joins us next, because his dad played at Utah State. Junie. Football runs deep in that family too, but it's not a red flag. So the NFL is going to run through this combine. Top end prospects, not like Christian McCaffrey didn't participate. This isn't new. It's just more of them. What I'd like to know is, was it the kid's decision, or was it the agent's decision, or whose decision was it? But either way, they're just going to have to find a way to make it interesting and spiff it up. That's the poll question, by the way, for EMJ Marketing, Elite Speakers Bureau today. Will you be following the NFL Combine? 84% of our viewers saying no, which I've mentioned it already on the program today. It's great market research for me. If you're not going to be following the Combine, I don't really want to be either. So again, let's move on. Point 2B, something that studies say our viewers will be watching. The United Football League announced today rule changes for the upcoming 2026 season, which kicks off on Friday, March 27th. The UFL will revolutionize the game of football by introducing the 4-point field goal for attempts made from 60 yards and beyond, also banning the tush push. In addition, the UFL will feature 1 foot inbounds and no punts within the opponent's 50-yard lines, as well as revolutionary overtime guidelines. So March 27th, the season's kicking off, and I got to give credit to our viewers because you've swayed me. Like I said, I didn't want to follow the combine. I could be convinced on the UFL. I know a couple of coaches in the league. I don't know one player, but there ain't no other football going on. So we're going to do a pick'em presented by Pump Jacks. And I'm just preparing you all right now. You're going to have to police yourselves. You're going to have to track your own picks. And if I can trust you, which I know I can, because you're here every day, we'll fashion some sort of a prize for the United Football League. What the hell? Eric in Vancouver writes in and he says, the Combine's losing its luster with all these no-shows. Sad. Right, but did it ever have luster? Let's be real. Even the hardcorest of football guys have said, the old 90s Sixer, Scott Schultz, my longtime radio partner, Hall of Fame defensive tackle, former Pittsburgh Steelers, San Diego Charger, and of course Rough Rider, said, bench press? How many times you see a guy out there bench pressing 500 pounds at midfield? That's from a football guy. The combine never really was a thing. I feel like it was, a lot of us are draft nerds to the degree that we all study the draft, how it started, how it's evolved. You know, in the NFL, it used to be held in a conference room in New York, and it was ESPN that convinced the NFL to put cameras on it and make it a thing. Way back, I want to say 79, 80, 81, something like that. I'm sure the combine was the same thing. They brought in all the prospects. They're like, let's measure them. Let's do a high jump. Let's lift weights. Let's make them race each other. And somebody said, let's put a camera on it. And it got to a pretty big deal. And now it's dwindling back, and they got to find a way to make it interesting again. And I don't know how they're going to do that. That's their job. Tony from Cochrane, Alberta writes in. He says, I'd rather watch Saskatchewan combine races than the NFL player testing. I think I'd like to watch that too. Can we set that up? Racing our combines. How did we not think about that? Yeah, thank you, Jeff the Stamps fan. He says, yes, live from the Grand Hyatt Hotel. You're talking about how the draft started, right? Not the combine? I mean, maybe they did that in a hotel ballroom as well, but I get a sense it was probably done in a gym, the combine. But the draft, you're right, was started in the Grand Hyatt. It's a hell of a story. Pete Rozelle was the commissioner of the NFL, and ESPN had to convince him to allow cameras in, which, if you know anything about football, people, probably took a hell of a lot of convincing. I tried to cover the CFL meetings for years. Nope. All I got, nope. Hence why I'm living in Florida, talking about other stuff. Where were we? Bill Lindsay coming up in the next segment, by the way, from NHL Network and Florida Panthers Radio. Point 3, the Toronto Blue Jays continue spring training today in Dunedin, Florida, hosting the New York Yankees. Toronto coming off a 4-3 loss to the Mets Monday, while the Yankees beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 6-2 in their last outing. Toronto opens the regular season March 27th, hosting the Athletics. Same night as the UFL kickoff. Chris Sale and the Atlanta Braves, as we stay on MLB, have agreed to a contract extension covering the 2027 season worth $27 million. The deal includes a $30 million team option for 2028 for the 36-year-old lefty who won the 2024 NL Cy Young Award winner in his first season with Atlanta. Point 4. The NHL regular season resumes Wednesday with 8 games. The Toronto Maple Leafs visit the Atlantic Division leading Tampa Bay Lightning, who have won 5 in a row. The last place Vancouver Canucks host the Winnipeg Jets, and the Edmonton Oilers, who lost 3 straight before the break, visit the Anaheim Ducks, who are only 1 point behind that Alberta Crew. Bill Lindsay joining us in the next segment to talk about all things NHL and a little bit of an Olympic recap. And while we're at it, we've made it very nicely through to point 5. The Toronto Raptors return to Scotiabank Arena tonight for their first home game since the All-Star break, hosting the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder sit atop the Western Conference, while Toronto is 5th in the East. Canadian star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander remains out with an ab strain for Oklahoma City. Okay, we'll pick up the rest of this later. Sports update later, viewer takeover later. If you have any questions for the great Bill Lindsay, fire them my way right now on the Western Dodge text line, 902-518-3033. Billy, born in Fernie, BC. Parents are from the USA. Who was he cheering for in the Olympics? I literally don't even know. And what are the Panthers going to do with Bob? We'll talk about it all next. And some Golden Knights talk as well, as Vegas is we're airing there on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network all across Nevada. And WQVZ Radio. We'll be right back.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world! Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world! Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Welcome back, everybody. Airing today on the Silver State Sports Entertainment Network across Nevada. Not on Game Plus TV today across Canada, but will be tomorrow. And Bill Lindsay played 777 NHL games with Quebec, Florida, Calgary, San Jose, Florida again, Montreal, Atlanta, in Junior A, in Vernon, and in the Dub in Tri-City. And above all else, he's just a Hall of Fame human being. How you doing, Billy?
I'm doing good. How are you doing this morning, Rod? Or afternoon, depending where you at. Where you at this day? The traveling man.
No, I don't go too far. I didn't go too far. Where did you go in the Olympic break? Anywhere?
No, I didn't do much either. I just wanted to relax. Me and my wife just wanted to do some things here, and it was kind of a stay vacation for the both of us. We just hung around, played some pickleball, had some fun, played a little bit of golf, and just kind of relaxed and soaked it all in.
Well, you understand this. When the Panthers reconvened for practice on Saturday, I asked all the staff and players, what'd you do for the break? Nobody went anywhere. Bill, why would you go anywhere when you live in South Florida? Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's a beautiful time of year down. You know that, Rod, how it is down here this time of year. I mean, it doesn't get better. It's just, it's perfect. So, yeah, that's a good reason to stay here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm sure you're ready to get back to hockey and back in the booth, and the Leafs are here Thursday night. But I legitimately don't know the answer to this question. Who are you cheering for in the gold medal game, Canada or USA?
Whew, that is really, really complicated for myself because, as you mentioned, I have American parents. I at that time that I was going to the World Juniors and had those opportunities, I was not good enough to make the Canadian team. So I did represent Team USA, the World Juniors, World Championships, part-time for the U.S. Olympic team on the pre-tour. Didn't make it all the way to the Olympics, but I did wear the U.S. jersey, and there was pride when I put on that jersey and that logo, just with my heritage and background, and I felt a huge connection to the United States. So when I did get a chance to put on the jersey, it meant a lot. It would have meant a lot for Canada as well. But when it comes down to it, Canada gave me hockey. I was born in Canada, Fernie, British Columbia. So those roots are inherited in me. And now that I get older, when it comes to the international stage and I watch the games, I do still find myself rooting for Canada, as odd as that sounds, having worn the U.S. jersey. And I can't take anything away from that experience. They gave me a chance. It was extraordinary. It's just something down inside with your roots. When you're born somewhere and the country gives you something that lasts your lifetime, it is hard to pull against them.
I get it. And listen, I don't mean to put you on the spot. My God, I felt terrible the other day. I asked Paul Maurice how he felt about being the Finnish players want him to coach Team Finland. He was highly uncomfortable with that. He's like, they got enough coaches. I don't know if you saw that or not. And I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I thought he'd be flattered by that, but that's just how humble he is.
Yeah, that's a tough question. And for a coach to go over and do that. And as coaches, you can not be from the country and go coach a different team, but for some, that would be a heavy choice for a coach that is decorated as Paul Maurice. I'm sure Paul Maurice would definitely have to think long and hard if he ever decided to go coach a team like Finland. But they do have
I
great
know, I
coaches
guess
over
that's
there. It's one of the best coaches. Both you see all the Finns come out. Why do they need an American coach or a Canadian coach? They're one of the best coached players that you will ever see. 200-foot players across the board.
Well, he just seemed highly uncomfortable with it. I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to make you feel like, yeah, I'd have been on the first plane when I was asked to be the voice of Team USA football. I'm like, I'm in, but we're not all the same. We're not all the same. Listen, the viewers are dying to know this, and I always like to give the viewers what they want. Sergei Bobrovsky, we're starting to hear his name in trade rumors. Do you think it's legit?
Uh, some question marks around it. Yeah, that's interesting. With what happens, and it's the last year of his contract. I'm not sure if there's been talk about renegotiations or what's going to happen, or if they want to change the pendulum here to go in a different direction with goaltending. And if that is kind of the case moving forward, Bill Zito has to listen. I guess that would be. It's not an immediate hang up where you might say, okay, no way, that's off the table. I believe that if you do call, that Bill would probably be interested in taking that call. Does it come to fruition? That's a whole different story. It depends on what the offer would be coming back, what he's done for this franchise, what he's meant, the back-to-back Stanley Cups. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, the Vezina trophies, but he is aging out, and he has struggled this year. So it's no surprise that he's out there on the rumor market, but the question comes down to it, where are you at that trade deadline as a team and evaluating, can we get into the playoffs and Sergei Bobrovsky get us there and lead us to the mountaintop, and is it viable for another year? That's the question they sort out. If the answer is no to both those questions, that we don't believe that we're gonna make a serious playoff run, and at his age that he's gonna get any better and help us down the future, then there is a possibility. But yeah, that's a heavy loaded question, Rod.
Oh, yeah, I'm really firing them at you today. I didn't mean to. But I guess number one, it's going to depend if they're in contention or not. And we'll know in the next 2 weeks. Right. And then two, I
Yes.
think it kind of I think they have as much respect for Bobrovsky. They would say, Bob, what do you want to do? And I don't know what the answer
They
of
would
that
go through
would
Bob. I
be.
would agree with that 100%. It's a well-run organization. So that's the difference of me and you talking, and where Bill Zito and Sergei Bobrovsky and the team talking as far as rumors go. There's a lot more inside talk that would be done something with this than either of us on the outside could really get in depth on. So that's something that you can't evaluate, you can't judge. So when it comes down, Bill Zito would have that conversation. And Bobrovsky's earned that conversation of, okay, what we're going to do here in the future and what our plans are and what we're thinking. What are you thinking? And it should be amicable both ways, and it shouldn't be done any other way with these parties, just because what have both accomplished.
Florida Panthers great Bill Lindsay is with us here on the RP show, Silver State Sports Entertainment Network. Listen, your stories are as good as anybody's, and I love trade stories. You got a good one. You got a good one. What was it when you were traded to Calgary or out in Calgary? What was this? What was the story there?
Well, yeah, always different. You get traded. The first trade to Calgary, that's interesting. You tell them 7 years with the Panthers in Calgary. All of a sudden, got traded at 10 in the morning and had a 3 o'clock flight that day to get over to Calgary. So there's for the audience how quick that happens. The real one was the Montreal Canadiens. I took morning skate with the Panthers and got traded in the afternoon to the Montreal Canadiens, who were in town to play the Florida Panthers. So I took my bag down to the dressing room to Montreal and dressed that night as a Montreal Canadian against the Florida Panthers, which was just wild. I was taking morning skate with them, and I'm sure a lot of the fans were confused, seeing why is Bill Lindsay playing for the other team. I went out there, took a run at Peter Worrell, and we were friends, and he wanted to rip my head off a few seconds later. So that's how quickly we became enemies. He chased me all the way to the bench. It was surreal, and that's something that I'll never forget. That trade, just trading locker rooms, is something you just don't see every day, and it is one of the quirkiest parts of our business, but something that happens and can happen.
Well, something I noticed today when I was searching photos of you for our show, you wore 11 and 23. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
How
I
did
wore
that
23
happen?
when I started here. I forget who got traded, who wore 11, and then I asked Bobby Clark, our GM at the time, very first year, and could I wear number 11? And as a fourth liner, he says, I don't give a damn what you wear. Just, yeah, if you want to change your sweater. It's not like they were selling out sweaters at 23 or anything like that. So Bobby Clark was great. I loved him, but yeah, switched over about, I'd say halfway through the year, my very first year in the Panther uniform. Got number 11 and wore it from then on as a Panther.
All right. Well, so I got to ask you something else too. I don't know how much of a social media guy you are if you're following the hate out there for Matthew Tkachuk. Like, you were a pest. I've been watching you since junior. I told you that, right? You were a sandpaper kind of guy. Tkachuk is like 10 levels more pest. Like, and do you understand how hated he is, don't you, Billy? Outside the state
Yeah,
of
social
Florida?
media,
No,
I
no.
agree. But
He's hated in Tampa too. What a job.
yeah, he's
What
hated.
a
Well,
job he's
what
doing.
happens when you win? What happens when you win? You become a villain. He's outspoken. He's loud. He's not shy. But you backed it up. When you can back it up, you can be outspoken and loud. I have no problem with it, and it's great for the game of the NHL. You need a hero. You need a villain. You always do. It's kind of the way you go to any great movie. That's usually the premise, right? There's always the villain. I mean, the hero wins, but the villain part of it. But Kachuk it's good for the NHL. I truly believe that they want to see personality. They want to see who you are. Who are you, genuinely? Not behind the scenes, and just the cookie cutter answers we get from so many. And I don't blame for a lot of the athletes with social media just to give those that they don't want to be put out there on blast. But Kachuk doesn't mind it. He doesn't mind being put on blast. He's going to wear his heart on his sleeve wherever he goes. USA uniform, representing the Florida Panthers. And I tell you one thing, Rod, people that are on his team in the organization or with Team USA, they are happy to have him. And that is the
Well,
bottom line. If you're Matthew Tkachuk, you want to be on his team and you want him on your team.
well, you might find this hard to believe, but I started this war of controversy in Canada by saying the Panthers would not take Leon Draisaitl over Matthew Tkachuk. The Oilers fans are going crazy, they think, what do you mean? He's 10 times the player. I'm like, they would not rather have Leon Draisaitl than Matthew Tkachuk. Am I crazy or have I read it right?
Yeah, well, with the money that drives, I think you.
Did we lose Bill? Did we lose Bill? Producer Corey, are you there? Producer Corey, did we lose Bill? Hello? Okay, we lost Billy. Hopefully we can get him back and potentially producer Corey as well, as things were just getting good. Thank you, everybody. Man, am I going to have to wait until tomorrow night or Thursday night when the Panthers are home to the Toronto Maple Leafs? To find out the answer to that. I feel like I don't mean to be grinding people with all these questions right now, but it looks like Billy's gone. We'll see if he logs back in. It's just me and you, the viewers, here for the rest of this segment and probably until the rest of the hour. There you go, up with the RP Show logo. I guess it's a tougher question, a tougher answer to come up with than I thought, but yeah. Sea Lightning writes in and he says, frozen just like Canada's hockey team. LOL. Well, and here's one. Jeff the Stamps fan says, a malfunction at the junction. I think I can hear Bill. Do we have Bill back? Is he logged back in?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, Billy. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. You were right on the cusp of answering. Would the Panthers,
Let's
I
see
don't
here.
think they would take,
Gotta get this
they
thing
would
set
take,
up. My iPhone got too hot, if you can believe that.
that was my guess.
So,
That was my
yeah,
guess.
so I gotta get my fingers out of the way. There we go. So here we go. So we're outside where it's a little cooler. So my iPhone got too hot. There was a malfunction at the junction. That's the first time that's ever happened.
It's not even a hot day. But you didn't answer my question. They would not take Draisaitl over Tkachuk. Like if the Oilers called today and say, we'll give you Draisaitl for Tkachuk.
That's a no. Yeah, that's a no. At this moment, contract-wise, everything that Tkachuk's done, that's a no. You're not going to do it at this time. Disrupt chemistry. There's too many reasons for why Matthew Tkachuk is here, what he means to this team. So, yeah, you're correct. The answer is no at this moment. People forget you got to factor in contracts, salaries, everything into this, and what he means to a team, organization, locker room fit. There's a million things that go into it.
Yeah, well, sure. Money comes into play. He's a fraction of what Draisaitl makes. But you're right.
Okay.
He's a winner. He changed this franchise's fortunes overnight when they got him. Right?
Yep. They did. That was one of the biggest trades. And once that happened, Bill Zito said with the Tkachuk thing and everything that was going on that, sorry, I got to get this phone stable.
You're good.
Anyways, yeah, so Tkachuk, that trade for Bill Zito and Jonathan Huberdeau, once they made that trade, it changed the course of our franchise. Just on a dime like that, sent it in a whole new direction. Something that, if you look back on it, one of the best trades that's ever been made in the history of hockey for the Panthers. Reset the organization and brought us 2 Stanley Cups. It doesn't get better than that in a trade.
Billy, we got about 3 minutes left with you, and I'll let you go. But so the urgency of it's not the second half, it's like the next 40%. I'm going to ask you about the Golden Knights. I don't know how much you've been paying attention to them, but you follow the whole league. They're leading the Pacific, yet they'd be out of the playoffs if they were in the East. What do you think the future holds for Vegas?
They're going to go for it. They'll be there. They're around the discussion. That's a team that's all in every single year. They push. Give them full credit with everything that they do. They're going to be around. What adjustments have to be made here towards the trade deadline? I suspect they'll be active again, but that's a team that has a viable cause in the West again this year. It's amazing. Since their inception, Vegas, every year, we've talked about them as a legitimate Stanley Cup contender. They've been which is you got to give to come in the league like this and be as relevant as they have. Won a Stanley Cup, been to 2 Stanley Cups. To have that kind of accomplishments as an organization, and they're bullish. They feel that they got a team that's good enough to win it this year. I feel that if everything goes right, goaltending is an issue in Vegas. They got to figure that out. Maybe they address that. But if they can find a stable goaltender, they should be in contention in the West. Who cares about the points in the East? You need to care where you're at in the West, and they're in a good position in the West.
Oh, yeah. Well, it doesn't matter about the conference. You're right. And we're going to have to let you go in about 2 minutes. But this is the thing with Bob. This is what fans don't understand. Bob's got two little kids under the age of 3. Maybe if Vegas wants to acquire Bob, he's like, I wouldn't mind a 2-month break. Go play hockey in Vegas, away from the kids for a while. It's not completely out
Yeah,
of
that's
line.
crazy. Oh, man. We'll have to sort that out. The trade deadline, and it's crazy what's had to happen with the Olympics. The GMs, the coaches now have to totally adjust and get back into this. And with this condensed schedule, the amount of time that they're playing, this trade deadline is going to be one of the more interesting ones that we've seen in a long, long time. Are you buyers? Are you sellers? Outside the New York Rangers, I think everybody in the East believes they have some sort of a semblance of a chance to get into the playoffs. The West, there's a little bit more teams that are open for business, but how many calls? The seller bids, if you do want to sell, you're going to, the price is coming in. If you're a buyer, the prices are going to be extremely high. There's just going to be so much competition for limited talent. There's just not the availability of teams willing to depart of maybe giving up a chance of getting into the playoffs.
It's going to be one heck of a lot of fun. And for the Panthers, it begins Thursday night when the Leafs are in town. I'll see you then, Bill. Thanks for the time, man. Good to see you again.
Yeah, Rod, appreciate it all the time. Sorry about the phone and stuff that happens, but you're always the best and kind to all your viewers. Just know that you got the real deal there in Rod Pedersen. Yes, like you said, you become a really, really true friend over the years. Love it, the interactions, and man, I'm glad you're in my life. So that's a positive, and keep it rocking and rolling on the show. Keep disrupting as much.
All the same, right back to you. All the same, right back to you, Billy. Thank you. We'll be right back on the Silver State Sports Entertainment Network.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us today. It's been fun. It's been real. And I'm glad that Billy said all the nice things. I'm glad he feels the same way that I do about him. That was an awesome chat with Bill Lindsay. I'll tell you what. Oh, and by the way, for those that tuned in late, Bill's iPhone got too hot, knocked him off the air. It's not that hot in Florida. It's 17 degrees Celsius today, just so you know, at the moment. 17 degrees Celsius. And I remain on the Celsius scale, and I plan to always remain on the Celsius scale. But we'll see how it goes. I'm interested in how many of you are interested in this Canada-US story, Team US. Scott writes in, he says, apparently Scott in Vancouver says, apparently Eric Comrie is starting here as Hellebuck is still partying. Well, still partying, or as Sea Lightning writes in, he says, I heard the American team's flying to Washington today and we'll see the president tomorrow. Kind of why I'm ready for the weekend and it's only Tuesday is that everybody's running off with their various opinions and all half-cocked, and leave it to Bill Zito, the general manager of the Florida Panthers, to state how they're looking at things right now. Katie Engelson is the host of Panthers Television. She's tweeted this morning. Bill Zito, the GM of the Panthers, said Matthew Tkachuk will be back from Washington in time for Thursday's game versus Toronto. But when asked about Tkachuk attending the State of the Union tonight, here's the quote from Bill Zito. We need to grow our game. We need to let other people have the opportunity to become fans. We need excitement. So now hockey players in South Florida pretty much A-list yesterday, right? This is a big deal. And it's big for USA Hockey. Now, I don't have as many people following the whereabouts of Jack Eichel. Where's the Vegas people at today? But I'm assuming Jack Eichel of the Golden Knights is doing the exact same thing. Clearly, Connor Hellebuck is. He's not going to be back to start in time for the Jets at Vancouver. They feel hanging out with the President of the United States of America is a big deal for USA Hockey. Don't you? There's the GM of USA Hockey saying exactly that. So just putting out there, just telling you their frame of mind. So for those that say, how could they? If you were in their shoes, you might feel the same way. Sea Lightning says Celsius. It's not really a loyalty thing as much as it's what I've lived on for a half a century. So what I know, 28 Celsius is 82 Fahrenheit. That's an easy one to remember. After that, it gets murky. Sports update. The Milan Cortina Olympics drew a daily average of 23.5 million viewers across NBC platforms, making it the most watched Winter Games since Sochi in 2014. It also represents a 96% increase over Beijing in 2022, which averaged only 12 million. Why? I don't know. Maybe because the NHLers were in it, which, as usual, I have a page of notes of things I wanted to talk about, and virtually none of those did I get to. So we will coming up in the overtime segment after this. People are saying because of this furor and the pissing and moaning going back and forth, the NHL is not going to want to put their players back in the Olympics. I disagree. We'll talk about that in the next segment. More than 11 years after their first showdown, Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao will meet again this September in Las Vegas. Netflix will stream the fight, which will be the first boxing match ever held at the Sphere. For the first time in league history, the WNBA generated enough revenue in 2025 to trigger revenue sharing with players. As a result, $8 million will be divvied up and paid out to players who were active last season. And the Duke Blue Devils climbed to number one in the latest AP men's poll, making this their record-extending 148th week as the nation's top-ranked team. Meanwhile, the women's poll remained largely unchanged, with UConn still a unanimous number one. That is the sports update for the Ultimate Fan Zone, who, by the way, are enjoying a winter break. So don't stop in and see them in Moose Jaw downtown because they're closed. You can still shop online, though, at ultimatefanzone.ca. Overtime's next, and we'll put a wrapper on all of this when we come back. You're watching on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network, YouTube Live, podcast, and WQVZ Radio. And one more time, the text line for Western Dodge, 902-518-3033. We'll be right back.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. Well, this is great. It has been great. Welcome back for the Overtime segment, everybody. Proudly brought to you by our friends at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, where they are huge hockey fans. If you're looking for the perfect place to perfect your shot, look no further than Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary with state-of-the-art shooting lanes, top-notch equipment. It's the ultimate training destination for players of all ages and skill levels. Team parties, office parties, birthday parties. They can handle them all with a licensed bar as well for the parents. Stop in and see Randy and Michelle and tell them the RP show sent you. 28th Street Northeast, Calgary. As I said, I'm ready for the weekend, but that's not going to come any faster whether I wish for it or not. So I think this afternoon I'm just going to turn my phone off and stay away from the madness. It's getting crazy. Somebody in Ottawa, a fan, tweeted this, and then I saw it reposted by Bruce Garriock of the Ottawa Sun, saying all this madness and furor and fighting and bitching and moaning is going to make the NHL not want to send their players to the Olympics anymore. And, you know, or that they, or for whatever reason, NHLers won't be invited to the Olympics anymore. And I thought, wait, it's not the NHL's fault that people are idiots, that you can't fix stupid. Not that these guys are wrong. They're not wrong. Like, it is very ugly what's come out of this. And I just saw the tweet from Frank Saravelli about that. He's like, somehow USA hockey players being proud of their country has been turned into a bad thing. Like I said, I'm ready for the weekend. Oh, now an avalanche of comments have come in. Brent here from Florida says, Billy, even if the Panthers look like they won't make the playoffs, do you sell? We'll have to put it to Billy tomorrow. Hall of Fame guy, Bill Lindsay. I love that guy. Jason in Red Deer says, any update on Sidney Crosby? Wonder how the Penguins and LA Kings without Fiala feel about the NHL players playing in the Olympics. But Rich from Edmonton, hang on, I'm coming to you. There's the way the fans look at it. There's the way the GMs look at it. There's the way the owners look at it. I mean, their perspectives are a really big deal. Kelly McCrimmon, the GM of the Golden Knights, when he was on here last week, I mean, there's no more delicate speaker than him, or eloquent or diplomatic than Kelly. I think if it was up to Kelly, he wouldn't have his players there. I don't think any GM would have their players there. But I think he alluded to it. I'd have to go back and see rewatch the interview, but he was like, it's good for the game, period, to have the players in the Olympics. Whoever deduced this, I don't even think the owners want the players there. I don't. But I do think Gary Bettman wants the players there at the Olympics. And he's got big stroke. By the way, speaking of the temperature here, Rich in Edmonton, two things. He says, people wearing hoodies at the Blue Jays game yesterday, and that game was in Dunedin, right? 17 Celsius here today, 5 Celsius when I got up, go to the gym this morning. Listen, I understand it's a lot colder in the Queen City, where I'm from, but it still felt cold, if that means anything. Just so you know, we're not sitting here sweating our butts off. Rich says, by the way, this is what I wanted to get to. Rich in Edmonton says, I saw a picture of the double-decker bus driving through an empty street. They don't do everything right. The second I saw the report from our friend Andy Slater from Fox Sports Radio here in South Florida, Andy's been on this show. Andy broke the story that Team USA was going to be traveling around in double-decker buses in South Beach. I'm like, why would you do that? It's all tourists, not even from the U.S. They don't care. And that's exactly what happened. I saw the videos too, and it was kind of sad. What you say, right? It wasn't just one street. Every street was empty. It was cold. Nobody was outside. And these people don't give a rat's ass about the Olympics or USA hockey. They're from France. They're from Switzerland. They're from Germany. They don't care. They should have just went straight to 11. The bar in Miami where they partied all night with the Stanley or the with their Olympic golds and almost killed our friend Caesar. I will be looking up Caesar Thursday night at the hockey game and just saying, Caesar, you need to cool it. Similar to the talks my dad had with me. You need to cool it. Caesar will listen about as much as I did. But at least you got to say it, right? So, yeah. Oh, Brent says, wow, he made you blush, Rod. You saw that? He did. I got a small group of friends here in South Florida, but they're great. Really, really, really great. Brent's in it. Billy's in it. Chris from the Bronx is in it. DeBuck is in it. Maybe it's not that small now that I think about it. Oh, Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, I hope the U.S. gold inspires Wolf. Talking about Dustin Wolf, the goalie from Tustin, California. Dustin from Tustin. It's going to take more than Dustin Wolf unless he starts scoring goals. Are you talking about saving this Flames franchise or this year or in the years ahead? Because I think it's done for them. Although, as I was looking at the standings, we're going to get way more into this tomorrow. But nobody has been eliminated yet. Nobody has been eliminated yet in the NHL regular season. And I know that sounds very incredible given the season the Vancouver Canucks have had and some of these other teams. But nobody has been eliminated yet. Why is my alarm going off? You know what? What? Don't set an alarm for 1:57 Eastern. Tech ghosts and gremlins, eh, producer Corey? What are you gonna do? Oh, it's just, did I tell you? I'm ready for the weekend. And it's only Tuesday. Anyways, thank you to Billy Lindsay. Thank you to Mitchell Scruffy Blair. Producer Corey and his crew. Joe will do it all again tomorrow seamlessly. I guarantee it. We'll see you tomorrow on the RP Show.
That.